Welcome.
Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Metabreakers podcast, starring your boy D-Money, and also... Oh, was I supposed to
Warshack
go a
over
little
here
more?
in the middle.
And I'm DracoCatt. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good night.
So we're going to do a little bit of an introduction where we talked about kind of what we do. And if you want to kick it off, DmoneyGames.
Yeah, so the first thing we're going to talk about, guys, is the overall meta right now for Standard. I've been playing a lot in the meta, and I stream every day, guys. And it looks like most people are playing either Rogue or Hunter right now. And then people are trying to combat that with some Mage and some Warrior. So there's only really 4 classes being represented right now. It's a little stale. I don't know if you guys been experiencing anything else, anything different.
Stale, putting it. I'm not gonna say it's hard to play, but it's a lot of the same at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, this happens at the end of every expansion cycle, right? You get to the point where a new expansion is going to come out in 2 weeks. We've had the same-ish meta for 3.5 months. Granted, there's been some balance changers, but like this is where the game is the most stale. And like we've got Christmas presents on the Christmas tree, and we just have to wait the extra couple days to open those suckers, and it's going to be good. But yeah,
pretty much. I mean, there are. Excuse me. There are a lot of. So there's a lot of Rogue right now. So people have been playing in Big and Druid to kind of combat that. But then the people playing in Big and Druid are going to get countered by Hunters. So it's basically what you're
more
facing
specifically
more
the
of.
Dragon Hunter, right?
Yeah, Dragon Hunter does completely counter that deck there. So I mean, it's basically like people always ask me like, what's the best deck to play right now? But it does depend on what you're playing against. If you're playing against a lot of Rogues, then you should probably play in Big and Druid, even though it might not be the best deck overall. But basically just countering the meta. Countering is like a big thing right now in the meta, because decks counter specific decks at the moment more than in the past. So
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Jack.
Well, D-Money, you had mentioned, if you're seeing a lot of Rogue play the Druid, the reason behind that would be the evasive cards. The taunt that can't be targeted by hero powers or spells, which is really good against Sap, which, as we know, is one of the most fantastic, not annoying road cards ever. Yeah. So is that kind of the reasoning behind there for you? I mean,
yeah, the matchup's really hard for Rogue because they don't really have time to get anything going. There's constant pressure, and like you said, the evasive, it makes it really hard for Rogue to deal with anything. I mean, sometimes they have to seal fate themselves. It's pretty rough. I play the matchup quite a bit.
And then for Mage, how do you do with Mage? Because I know you play a lot of that, and I know that has obviously a lot of spells in it, and then the whole can't be targeted by hero powers or spells. So, like, how do you feel with
Mage is actually in a really good spot against some Big and Druid. Even though they can't be targeted, you do have stuff like Frost Nova and Blizzard that will delay them till you get like some swing turns, maybe with Dragon Caster or Reno. Both Renos, actually. Yeah, the matchup seems to be like maybe like 70% for Mage. It's really good, actually. Okay.
Yeah, I found it really hard to find a deck that countered everything efficiently on my climb to Legend this month that I wasn't just playing mirror matches on. Eventually, I landed on Highlander Hunter, which it seemed like it was performing good against everything except Dragon Hunter. I feel like that is because I felt like when I was playing against a Rogue, if I was using a Dragon Hunter deck, if I drew bad, the game was over. But I felt like, yeah, that's true. That is true. That is pretty much the most Hearthstone thing ever. But when I played the Highlander variant, I could swing it back with like the Dragon Queen and the Zephyrs, so it allowed the game to be a little bit more interactive when it would go longer, and I could still win the games even if I drew bad. But then again, the second you queue in against the Dragon Hunter, I think I had like a less than a 33% win rate against them, just because they would obviously tempo me down before I would have the consistency to curve out well against them. But that's my Metabreaker deck of the month. Is probably Highlander Hunter. It still performs against everything well.
A lot of people are playing Highlander Hunter right now. It can do basically like a lot of things. Like it could be very aggressive, and it could also you also have cards like Zephyrs and Varanus to control the board too at certain points. So you can totally do well against a lot of decks, like you said. Yeah, it's in a good spot.
Well, the Highlander Hunter, like it has basically like packages of like it's got a nice early game package if you draw it early. It's got a nice mid game package if you draw it, and then the late game package is your Brand, your Alexstrasza, your Sayamont. So it's got like the ability to, depending like you said on the matchup, if you're going against a more aggressive deck, you turn into more of a control deck, and if you play against a control deck, it turns into the aggressive deck. So it depends on like who you're playing against, and it's very versatile. I played a little bit of it, haven't played it recently, but it was actually like one of the more fun hunter decks that I've played in like the previous metas.
Yeah, Highlander Hunter has always been like the most fun hunter deck for me, and I don't like hunter at all, but Highlander Hunter is pretty entertaining. Yeah.
I think the best thing about it though is I think it performs more consistently against Rogue than Dragon Hunter, and where I'm at in the meta, I see like 50% Rogue right now. So having that extra edge on beating Rogue is pretty much like the consistency of the deck that'll take it to the next level at least at 5 to Legend kind of stuff. So
definitely a lot of rogues out there.
Yeah. All right. So for my meta breaking deck, all right, there's 2 decks. D-Money made fun of the first one before we even started the stream and we were practicing. It's the Reborn Paladin. Very high success with this deck. It's very slow, but it's very consistent. You play a minion, it has Reborn, so it doesn't die, and then the hero power, you make another minion, and then eventually you win. Very simple
deck. What
deck.
could go wrong? Yeah.
Exactly. And if Rogue saps one of them, no worries. You just create another one, and it has taunt, and it heals you. So Quest Paladin actually did up fairly well for me. If I can pull up some stats here. I know I had like above a 60% win rate for me. Also, the other one was utilizing the new legendary, the double PP Mage.
The double PP Mage. Can you elaborate on what the double PPs are, Warshack? Because I'm sure people want to know what that is.
Yes, the double PP Mage. You can't forget that it runs multiple dragons. It has a dragon package. It also has the big spell package. But the key of the deck is utilizing the new legendary card, Kel'Thas. You go ahead and you double Ray of Frost for 1 mana twice. So you're at 8 mana. The third spell is free, which is the first P, which is the Pyroblast for 10 damage. Then you utilize the other Ray of Frost in your deck, which again costs 2 more mana for both spells, making your third spell cast for free. And then you play the second P, which is the second Pyroblast for an additional 10 damage for 20 damage burst. Very easy combo. It only requires 10 mana, like 5 cards that are all expensive and can not be used almost in any other aspect besides a Ray of Frost. So yeah, did great, won 4-0, and then we lost 7 in a row. But we don't really worry about the 7.
But how good did it feel when it worked?
It felt great, boys. Yes. It felt good.
Kel'Thas is actually really, it's really sick when you get it from Power Creation. And then you have some other spells to cast. Then you could go into like Pocket Galaxy too. You can do some nutty things in Reno Mage actually with that card.
You were getting it from Power of Creation a lot.
Yeah.
Quest Paladin, as Warshack was saying, I love when that deck starts when it works. Like I know it's not every game that it works where you get the quest off and you start duplicating things that are hard to remove. But the second you start doing it, I don't know. I remember doing it against Control Warriors back in the beginning of Old Doom. And it just feels absolutely hilarious just to watch people try and react to getting rid of one of those what are the eggs? The
Mechano eggs.
The Mechano eggs. Just trying to clear those is just like a nightmare. And the second you start going off with those, the game's over, and it's just hilarious feeling.
I think the deck is actually pretty decent. I played it quite a bit myself, and
the stance has changed.
The only problem is you don't really have a reliable board clear. I have 2 Shrink Rays in my version, but besides that, it's just if they flood the board, you're kind of screwed most of the time. And if you're playing your Shrink Ray, then you don't really get to play any of your other stuff and use your hero power. So it's a little iffy in that regard, but maybe it'll get some stuff with the new new set here. I'm not sure.
I hope Paladin gets another board clear. I feel like that would really help the class and do it for the control metas. That's one thing that I've always wanted for it, because Consecration, if you're playing against a Quest Paladin, they have Shrink Ray, or Consecration. So like just getting 3 health minions on the board like completely makes their removal like for AoE redundant usually. So if you could overcome that, then yeah, in a more mana efficient way, then things like Quest Paladin would probably work, right?
Yeah, like it's always been like the same board clears for Paladin. It's always been Equality Consecration or Shrink Ray Consecration kind of thing, or Pyromancer Equality. Like it's time for something new for them, I think.
Yeah, since Equality was nerfed, the AoE removal for Paladin has not been mana efficient at the least. Because you have to use 2 cards, multiple, to do like an entire removal, which is super expensive from a deck building perspective. So, yeah, hopefully.
And Equality used to cost 2 mana for those of you who don't remember those days. Yeah. So the stats for the Reborn Paladin I have here: 16-9, 64% win rate from rank 5 to 3.
It's pretty good.
I think you might just be good, man. Like that's unheard of.
That is a solid, nice Reborn Paladin right there.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
It's a decent deck, yeah. It just needs a little more. I think it just needs a little more.
Oh yeah, trust me, it could definitely use a little bit more.
Yeah.
Considering Rogue gets to draw, 7 cards out of the deck that costs then 0 mana.
Yeah.
But let's not focus
Totally
on
fair.
that. Yeah, totally fair.
I'm convinced to try it. So, just saying,
it's a fun deck. Do we want to move to the first legendary card that is bringing a lot of conflict over? It's a very conflicting card.
I think we should do it. I'm ready.
All right, there it is, boys.
I don't know
this is the first card. It's got quite a unique ability because, as we know, Leroy is leaving. He's going into Hall of Fame, which we'll cover in a later segment. This was one of the cards that is being shown to us and was released, and a lot of people are looking at this card as like the next big thing.
My jaw dropped when I saw that thing. Like,
it's pretty beastly, dude.
All I could say is thank God that Leroy is gone with this card coming in, because that would be I don't know what I would do if that was still in there. That's a little crazy. This card essentially just like you can't really play around it at all besides healing your face. Like there's really not much you could do. I don't know. Can I do anything against this card, guys?
I think the play around for Kane right here is counting up your opponent's damage. That's what you do. Like you see, like, okay, if they add 3 damage and equip a weapon, like, do I die? And if the answer is yes, then you trade, right? That's the play around, right?
I mean, I don't know how much damage they're going to be able to get, but it seems like they'll be able to get a lot in that. So I don't know.
It also
Warshack, yeah.
So question, it says all friendly attacks. Does that include your weapon?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was confirmed. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy
Leroy
shit.
Jr. That's what some people have been calling it, and I like it.
Yeah, I think it's cool that it exists. I think it's scary from like a control perspective. But it's like this card is literally like a check and balance in the game. It makes entire archetypes less impactful just knowing that this card exists. Like Embiggen Druid is just got a bad matchup from that card existing. Because no longer does Wing Guardians matter. They're gone.
Well, I mean, you got to remember that when if you're gonna play this card, right, you're gonna go face with your minions, and you're not killing your opponent's minions. I mean, if you don't win that turn, they're gonna be able to make the favorable trades, right? So this guy is gonna be played just like Leroy in the sense that, like, oh, I have 2 minions on board. Let's say they do 5 each. I have a weapon down that does 2 or 3. I play this guy. Now I have 15 straight burst to your face. So this guy is gonna be used like on lethal turns. It's not like a card where you do this, do face, and then like that would just kind of give your opponent the ability to then clean up the board, right? So
yeah, I mean, unless you have like the hero power doing like 5 damage or something to set up for next turn, but yeah, this is like an end the game card, definitely.
Yeah,
I think it could also be used. I think at high levels of play, it'll be pretty much used as like a swing card to like remove like need targets behind taunts, like
that also works. Yeah.
Sorcerer's Apprentices or something, for example. Like if you have a card toot and a Sorcerer's Apprentice, you could just lay this down, trade into the apprentices with a token, and go face with everything else, and just kind of open up your win for the following turn. I think that'll be seen a lot too, like just using it to get rid of the high priority targets. I guess it can trade itself too, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, you could play it on curve technically if you really have nothing else to play, but yeah, it's probably going to be an end game card. You know, it's also scary about this card is the fact that you could get it from Dragon's Horde and Rogue. It really makes me feel uneasy inside.
I never even thought of that, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, yeah, discovering this in Rogue is...
Yeah, imagine playing like 5 0-cost cards with this card. Yeah.
That's a Rogue card. I never even imagined.
Yeah, it's a Rogue card.
Every card's a Rogue card.
Dragon's Horde discovers things consistently. It's scary. You're right.
Yeah,
the worst thing is when they get the Dark Pharaoh. Oh my god, I just want to quit.
I lost in I actually lost. I got to the finals of one of the qualifier tournaments for Sweden, and the final game, the guy got Shutterwalk from Dragon's Horde, and it lost me the game. It was very sad.
Better player won, man. Better player won. That's just how it goes, man.
Speak to the consistency of Dragon Horde too. I played 3 rogues in a row on stream last week, and every single one of them had a Crystal Smith Kangor against me as a rogue. And it was just very weird for me how every single time I was playing as like a hunter against a rogue, they were discovering this annoying heal card that I have to invest resources in.
There's so many good options from Dragon Horde. It's insane. Yeah, it turns out legendaries are pretty good. Yeah.
Becca, were you inferring that Hearthstone, if you're playing an aggro deck, would give your opponent a healing card more often than that?
I don't think it's fair. That's my point. Not if they're a rogue. They're supposed to die from not being able to heal. That's the game I signed up for. That's their archetype. Don't give them a Kangor. It's happening.
All right. Do we want to take a look at the... Yeah, on to the next.
I don't know if anyone said this in the beginning, but we're kind of just scanning chat for good questions. And if you guys have them, we're going to just answer them all at the end. So, yeah. Anyway.
Give us some good stuff. Hey, I know you guys are smart. You're watching the stream anyway, so I know you're smart.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maev. What a card. That's a lot.
Yeah, this card is a little crazy. I mean, the last card that we just looked at was very crazy too, but this one is a neutral. You get to make a minion dormant for 2 turns, so it could be your minion or your opponent's minion. I've been trying to think of things that you could do with your own minions. It's a little iffy at the moment. I mean, certain situations you could maybe hide your minion from like AOE or something to set up for lethal potentially in the next few turns.
He's on Doomsayer.
That's an interesting concept.
Really confusing. That would be terrifying because I mean, how would that react? That would mean that it awakens on your opponent's turn or your turn.
I think it awakens on your
opponent's
turn.
Right?
It would awaken at the beginning of your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so therefore,
does it go off?
It goes off the following.
We're gonna have to find out.
Yeah. It sounds like a bad idea. Now that I'm thinking about it,
it's a brilliant idea because if you lackey and you've got a nice board and the lackey pulls Doomsayer and you don't have Shadow Step, this is going to be a necessary thing we have to do.
Oh, I mean that's actually kind of cool.
I've never thought of that. That's interesting. Like so you might have your own Doomsayer to keep your board existing for just 2 more turns, so that like after those turns it all dies.
Absolutely.
I don't know how you thought of this pipe dream here, but
I mean, you said use it on your own minions. I'm thinking the best way you could.
That's the first thing that comes up to you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's just you gotta connect it, man. But yeah, obviously, you're gonna want to use this card on your opponent's stuff. You don't want to use it on your own shit.
I was thinking about it. It's good, like in every deck. Like if you just throw this in, like there's the stage where you're evaluating what card is the best. Like anything, there's so many situations where you're like, I'll just might have that. Like.
Some people are saying that this is like the new Ziliax, like it's an auto include in basically every single deck, and I could agree with that. Yeah,
I kind of I like it. Easy day 1 golden for sure.
You can also maybe do some fun things with the new dormant cards. So when they awaken, they have abilities. So if you dormant one of those again, then it will get the ability off. I'm pretty sure that was confirmed.
Oh really? That's cool.
So you can do it with the one in Demon Hunter that does 10 AoE. Twice. Just interesting to think about.
Yeah. We still have more dormant guys to see, so we could get some crazy things happening with this guy. But yeah, this card should just be played everywhere. You're going to be seeing that a lot. I would craft that golden right at the beginning if you're one of those people like me. But
yeah, I like it a lot. The one thing that makes me think of is, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
It makes me think that there's going to be another dormant card, interactable, like neutral, like one that wakes them all up or kills a whole bunch of them or something like that. Like,
ooh,
I imagine there's going to be another card that goes with this or counters this. Like, it's like awaken a dormant minion, like, or like select the dormant minion, awaken it. I can imagine that being a card as well. That would complicate this more. Imagine if it was one mana. that would be crazy. Like just like a combo to awaken dormant minions. So
okay,
like,
why are you making it a rogue card right now? Stop it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have it, but yeah, I imagine there'll be another dormant interacting card.
Yeah, I mean, if not this set, then maybe next set. But yeah, that would be interesting actually. Yeah.
And then for those of you who play Wild and Brand's a factor, or if this is like played along Shark and Standard, does the battle cry trigger twice, making it go dormant for 4 turns? Or like, will that happen?
I doubt
That's a really good question.
Because it says 2 turns, it doesn't say like 2 more turns, so it should be the same. And
if it was more turns, the wording wouldn't work out at all.
I saw something that supports his train of thought too, because Celestian, the dev guy, commented saying that if you like double battle cry like that stun, what's it called, the blackjack stunner, the one that does the freezing trap to people's hand, it will make it 4 mana. Which so essentially, that kind of supports Rob's thesis, saying that this might do 4 turns dormant, but it's a different mechanic.
Which card are you talking about? What card is that?
Blackjack Stunner. It's the new one that says it's a rogue new 1 mana card that says if you have a secret, return a minion to your opponent's hand. It costs 2 more. And
yes, it says more though. That's the key word. Like things like this that have like a specific thing that says 2 turns. Like it should just be 2 turns, even if it's 2 times or 3 times. It should just be that specific number. But.
Yeah,
gotcha. All right. Well, I just was trying to think of something to make it even more.
I don't play Wild at all, so I never think of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I played it for about 2 weeks, and I recommend anybody who's thinking about it to not. So
that's why I
just throwing that out there. All right. So the next section, are we ready to move on before I?
Yeah.
I think we hammered this out pretty well.
Absolutely.
Is going to be the Hall of Fame neutral cards. This is some big stuff right here. This is, I mean, I specifically made a video on which cards I think was going to be, which were going to be Hall of Famed. And I think I hit the nail on quite a few of them. And a lot of people are freaking out about the Leroy and the Spellbreaker. But overall, this list, I'm stoked for it. Interested to hear what you guys have to say.
Draco, go ahead.
I kind of like Mountain Giant leaving. I think that's great. Leroy leaving, I see they're using that design space to fill up for more aggro options. So my general concern of Leroy leaving with that, it leaves the control decks unchecked. But since we are creating more mechanics that do things that go face, I'm okay with it leaving. I didn't like it leaving beforehand. As a person who plays a lot of rogue.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's been in the game since the beginning of the game, but I found that the only time it gets degenerate, I felt, was when you were shadow stepping it multiple times, which is something I'm guilty of being a part of. But
that's why I thought that they would originally get rid of shadow step, because that does create a lot of situations that shouldn't really happen. Like if you shadow step Zephyrs, then you could do it again, and Zephyrs specifically can't get shadow step because it's so broken with it. And like shadow stepping a Leroy, and especially a 0-cost Leroy, you get to play it 3 times in 1 turn. It's pretty crazy. So I thought that getting rid of shadow step might fix all those problems, but I mean, I'm happy with Leroy being gone personally, because I don't like aggro decks, but
yeah,
us control players, we're like, get this card out of here. It's causing trouble, boys.
I'm glad that it's not going to be the face of everyone dying still. But we have like a little joke in my my household where one time about like 3 years ago when I was starting to play Hearthstone, my fiance was like telling me like, oh, you can just get rid of a whole bunch of these cards that you don't use, and she went through and disenchanted a shit ton of like um, just not awesome cards, and then crafted a Leroy for me. So anytime I won a game with Leroy, I would always be like, babe, you won this one for me. Like, but that was a lot of games too. So like, but that's where Leroy came from in my life, was that one time. So yeah. MC Tech,
Yeah.
I'm glad it's gone. Acolyte of Pain, I like the reason it's going. And Spellbreaker, I kind of like there being more of a tax to run a silence in your deck other than a 4-mana good statted minion. So that's cool.
Yeah, I like what they were saying about getting rid of these neutral cards that are played in a lot of decks. Like if you need draw, there's like only a few options. There's like Novice Engineer, Acolyte, some other options
Loot
as
Hoarder.
well. Yeah, Loot Hoarder. So I mean, Acolyte was just one of those cards that's like it's like the most powerful neutral draw card. Like it's run in Shirvala Paladin, in Galakron Warrior, it's very good. Control Warrior even.
It's good in Mage. You can ping it.
Yep, same with that. And
Broken
it's the
in
same
Warrior.
kind of thing with Spellbreaker. Like we have Owl, which is a 3-mana 2/1, which is like bad stats, but you're paying for the silence essentially with those bad stats. This card, Spellbreaker, like you still get decent stats and you're silencing the minion, so it is a bit more powerful. So it was either basically they nerf it, or they Hall of Fame it, and I like it. I'm on board with it. I mean, we should be getting new silence options in this set anyway, so we should be.
Demon
okay.
Hunter got some like already.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah,
silence,
that's
I
true.
think, draw a card or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good card.
Yeah,
It's
so
like 1 mana
with,
too.
like I'm on track with what Draco was saying about like the stat wise. Like, how do you print a better like Spellbreaker, right? Like, it's stat wise, it's already pretty hefty for 4. Like, in the future, if you were to make a silence into a minion, you already have Owl, your Spellbreaker. So what are you gonna do? 3 mana or 5 mana? I mean, they already printed the 5 mana 5/5 silence, and they put it in Priest, and the card was like an auto include, right?
Yeah.
So like, by removing this, while it doesn't really look like it makes sense, it just makes room for other silences which are similar to this, but just enough to be different that they can now start introducing these. And it's not like, well, I'm just going to run Spellbreaker, or this is just better than a Spellbreaker.
Yeah, I think they'll make some more unique things. Like an example of that is like Shield Breaker, the 2-mana 2/1 that silences a taunt.
Yeah.
I really love that card, actually. I used to play that in my Murloc Dragon Paladin. And it's nice having like different silence options, different things like that. So maybe they'll come up with something else, a new concept with it. I don't know how much you could really do with that mechanic, but
yeah,
I mean, silence a minion gets stats. Silence a minion. Silence all copies of it in your opponent's deck. Stuff like it's kind of like a flick ability.
Okay.
So I don't know. These are just things I'm thinking off the top of my head that they could introduce.
I think there should be a tax though, like for a neutral effect that's so universally like utilizable or like easily used. So like if anyone can just put a spell like a silence in their deck, like there should be something that you kind of need to pay to use that. Like with Owl, you're paying like a little bit on the stat line. That's, I don't know. I think that's
you want to pay like life or something?
No. Well, I mean, I feel like if you just make a perfect vanilla statted minion with silence, then it's Spellbreaker, right? And there's no reason to ever make another.
That's what I'm
card.
saying. It's hard to be unique with it, but I mean, the Warshack is coming up with some good ideas. There's some things you can do, I guess. But I'm sad about my boy Mountain Giant leaving, because I mean I play Reno Mage a buttload, but it's still good for the game overall, because I mean handlock is going to be a thing in the next expansion. It's already a thing right now, but moving forward, it does allow for just playing different cards in general. That's what this Hall of Fame is all about. Like everybody's going to be playing Mountain Giant and handlock and Reno Mage still and stuff like that. So I like changing it up a bit. I'm not too mad about it.
Yeah. And then Mind Control Tech, we didn't really talk about that guy, but no offense, that card is trash. That card needs that is such a bad design, like, for the game, just randomly taking opponents' minions, and then especially with the quest taking 2 of them, like, oh gosh.
Yeah, that used to be a nuisance with the Shaman quest when that was like a prevalent deck. It's really annoying to play around. That's like the whole thing behind the Hall of Fame there. So I'm happy with that. No complaints over here.
Yeah, it's just too much of a swingy effect on a 3-mana 3/3. It's unpleasant games, you know.
Yeah, taking the best statted minion on your opponent's side versus the worst statted minion had like nothing to do with anything other than just like
it's tilting.
Played the card and hopefully it grabbed the right one, right? Like there was no other inputs there. So it's a bad. It doesn't really feel rewarding when you win like that. It's just like, okay, I won because of mind control tech. And when you lose, you're like, wow, I just lost because of mind control. There was not a lot of counterplay there. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, also in arena, like it just makes it pretty uninteractive too. Like you have to play around it like constantly. It's just like you're never gonna know if your opponent has it or not. It's pretty uninteractive. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not in arena anymore, right? Like, didn't it leave like a while ago? Right.
I think so.
No idea.
But I'm just saying in general. Yeah. I don't even know what goes on in arena, man.
Yeah, that's a whole nother ball game. All right, so our next segment that we're gonna take a look at here is going to be the Hall of Famed Priest cards, I believe. Yes, all the cards that are leaving Priest, and then after that we'll cover the new cards coming into Priest. These are the Hall of Famed Priest cards. There's some ones in here that I'm happy to see go, and then there's ones that I'm kind of like, well, that's funky. So yeah, starting off with you, D, what do you think?
I mean, I used to play Priest back in the day a lot. I actually hit number 1 with Priest.
Draco.
Wait, what?
You both start with D, so
yeah, that's true. Oh, my bad.
Oh shit!
I guess I'll go first. Yeah, so I used to play a lot of Priest back in the day. That was actually the first class that I hit number 1 in Legend with, like 3.5 years ago. So I really have love for the class, but as of recent, I don't like combo Priest or res Priest. So I just don't even want to touch the class. And now that Priest is getting a whole like rework, now it's pretty exciting for me. I mean, we're losing Cleric, which is like a staple in Priest, but I mean, the card's been there forever. Everybody runs it in their deck, no matter what deck you're playing, essentially, except for res Priest, of course. But yeah, I'm happy to see what else they've been coming out with some good 1-cost minions for Priest anyway. I mean, it makes sense. It's a really powerful card. It does do crazy things with Circle of Healing. I mean, some of these cards like Shadow Form and Holy Fire, I mean, they weren't played anyway, so it's either they buff them or I don't know why they're Hall of Faming them. There could be some kind of... It depends on what they're planning on releasing. Maybe they have like the next couple sets like in progress already and they're just like, this is not going to work. I'm not sure. But I mean, Divine Spirit, if you're not happy about that going, I don't know what to tell you. You know, that's just, that card like ruins the game for me whenever I play against like a combo Priest. That's about it. I'm happy with all these Priest Hall of Fames.
I have a lot of mixed feelings about it, honestly. Yeah, how do you feel, Warshack? What do you think about these things?
So we're looking at Divine Spirit because that's probably the hot topic one. It was that or Inner Fire, one of the two, right?
Yep.
One of those cards was gonna leave. I thought it was gonna be Inner Fire, because giving Priest minions a lot of HP, that's something Priest does. Like they heal, they give HP, they give support. So like them getting rid of the one that does that and keeping the one that like still does the combo stuff just means that anytime they print any card that gives HP, we still could possibly run into the thing where they Inner Fire it. Like they didn't actually get rid of the problem here. They got rid of the card that gave HP, which should be a thing they do. The whole switching is the problem, not giving HP. Having a big minion in Priest should be fine. That's. I
mean, even if they got rid of Inner Fire, there's still Topsy Turvy to do like the same kind of effect too.
Yeah, but that rotates.
It does. Okay. Well, there's Crazed Alchemist as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which could be a thing. So I mean, if Divine. What?
Yeah, that's a 2-mana minion, right? That's half.
Yes.
That's twice as expensive.
Yes, but like I think Divine Spirit just makes all these situations like pretty horrible for you. I mean, even if you don't give it, even if you don't Inner Fire it, it still could be quite annoying.
Okay.
Draco, what are you feeling about that?
Well, honestly, my most fond moments I have of Priest, which there was a moment in the Hearthstone period where I would say this was my favorite class in the game. which is weird because I play a lot of aggro now. But what I liked about it was I liked OTKing. I liked playing Cloning Priest. I liked playing like Raza and Kazakis Priest and stuff. And I liked these. I like that feel where like I just mess with install my opponent out the whole game, and then I pull this huge monumental game-ending play right at the end of it. And I get that that's not what they want for Priest, but that's my that's the positive memories that I feel towards this class are making those situations possible. So seeing cards like Velen and primarily Velen and Cleric leave, it makes me wonder, like, is the new identity that we pick for Priest going to feel anything like what I associate with this class? I guess I'm just apprehensive. That's my thing. I haven't played any of the new Priest decks. I don't know if the new direction of it just being solely control oriented is the way I always perceive the class to feel. I hope it works. Hope it's great.
I mean, I think it's going back to like the way that Priest used to be, like with like Dragon Priest, like control, like heavy control Priest. I always loved control Priest. I mean, Priest really hasn't felt the same to me. I don't really like combo decks personally. I feel like combo decks are kind of uninteractive. Like you're just kind of waiting until the end, until you have all your pieces, and then you just unload on your opponent. I like that it's going back. I mean, we're losing Cleric, which is a big thing. Like Auchenai and Cleric used to be like staples in that deck as well. So we're losing stuff from like different parts of the game. They're like you were saying with the combo. So we're losing stuff from combo. We're losing stuff from control aspects. So it is getting just like reworked in general. And I mean, time will tell if it's going to be great or not. If it's going to be fun.
I'm hopeful, but apprehensive.
Me too.
Yes,
I might be playing it in like 4 days. Probably.
Yeah, I was ever since in like when Entomb was in Priest, that was like the control Priest that I liked.
Yeah,
like that. Entomb that was like the most priesty Priest card you could Priest out. Like take your opponent's minion, shuffle it in my deck for 6 minutes. Like I like that. I think I'll take it.
Psychic Scream was pretty crazy too.
That's a pretty priesty card as well.
I loved that clear. That felt so punishing to do to like odd paladin players and stuff. I loved that.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, that was a good feeling.
Yeah. So I mean, while I agree that playing against an OTK deck is kind of annoying because you're sitting there, they just clear. You put the minions, you throw up again, they clear. Throw up again, they clear, and then you die. But the thing about OTK is like you need the full circle of spectrum of decks that beat decks, right? Like OTK is supposed to beat control. That's just like what it does. And without OTK decks, control just runs the show, right? Like there needs to be balance. So as a control player, I hate OTK decks. Every time I play, I'm like, of course I'm playing an OTK deck when I'm playing Warrior. I lose, but I know in my heart that is a necessary evil to keep balance in the force.
Is it really necessary?
As a control player, of course it's not, but we have to. We know that they need to exist.
It doesn't have to exist. I mean,
that's denial.
Please
feel
don't
like it doesn't
make any
exist.
more. Blizzard, if you're listening, please don't make any more combo decks. I don't want it. I mean, we're gonna have enough trouble with this new charge card that ignores all my taunts anyway. So, I mean, I'm sure like they made a whole class for aggro. I'm feeling okay with no more OTK things.
I feel like if you completely got rid of OTK, it would just turn into like horrible stall strategies for control decks where like Warrior gains like 1 million pieces of armor and you like that. Some people think that feels bad. The ones that try to reduce their opponent's health to 0.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but I mean,
all right. So Shadow
Form. So we're losing a lot of Priest cards, but we're also gaining a lot of things in Priest segment into.
Do we have the new cards for Priest? I think we have.
That's what I was.
Yes. Yeah. We're queuing it up, and amazing animation transformation. Well, bam! It's on the screen. Look at that shit. Wow.
There's some pretty crazy stuff here.
Yeah,
I do like some of them.
I mean, the standout card has to be Shadow Word Ruin. I mean, it'll ruin a lot of the games for a lot of people. That card is just insane. It's very reminiscent of the other Shadow Word card that destroyed 2 or less guys, I believe. And now this is going
Shadow
to be
Word
doing,
Horror.
Yeah, Shadow Word Horror, and that did cost the same amount of mana, I believe, as well. And this one is destroying all minions with 5 or more attack, which is a lot of things. And I mean, Priest usually struggles with removing the high cost thing, or the high attack and health minions. Like they do have some options for it, yes, but I mean, cards like Holy Nova, they have a lot of things like Holy Ripple. They have a lot of things for early game minions, but not really anything for late game minions. I mean, of course we have Plague, but this is like an in-between card, and it's very powerful. I mean, you're going to be running 2 of these in control decks. What do you guys think of this card? Isn't this card crazy?
It's amazing. It's what Priest needed forever. It's since the game was created. It's.
You think Priest needs more AoE?
I think it needs AoE for big boys. That's affordable.
Yeah. I mean, this is like a cheaper Light Bomb. And like Light Bomb you're usually using when they have big boys like that. And yeah, it's going to be a bit crazy.
No, I mean, yeah, that's an insane AoE card, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it'll also depend on the meta. Like, you know, if we see a lot of
True.
aggro that's not above 5, maybe. I mean, most of the time, any control priest will play at least 1, right? So it'll be between 1 and 2. So we see a lot of minions with, like, right now, you'd run 2 of them because, you know, I looking at Druid, or, you know, they have a bunch of big minions with the big one. Then you look at Hunter, the Dragon Hunter, because it has a bunch of 5 attack minions with Big Ol' Whelp and Rottenness Drake, right? And then Rogue, and you got, you know, Galakron and Hog and all that stuff. So, like, right now, yeah. But, like, depending on the meta, if it's aggro, maybe just 1 of them. But yeah, definitely a really good card.
Yeah, I could see 1 being.
It's a good replacement for like that second Plague of Death, because Plague of Death is not like, I mean, I know we use it for what it does, but it's really not a good card tempo wise, because like you wipe out your opponent's board and give them initiative. Like,
exactly.
Every time.
Yeah.
This you can wipe out your opponent's board and
have...
play a card. You know, like that's huge. That's a huge difference to have 6 mana to play with.
Any other standout cards here for you guys?
The 4 mana. 4 mana give a minion 2/4, I believe it says.
2/6.
All right, yeah, even better. Yeah, so 4 mana 2/6. I think that card is nutty. I don't know if you remember Velen's Chosen, I think it was called. It was a 3 mana 2/4 spell damage +1 or 2, and that card was like an auto include into almost every priest deck.
Yeah, that's the new combo. That's the new Divine Spirit, right?
The new Divine Spirit, yeah.
It's gonna kill people.
I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's okay. With all the removal options right now, I mean, you're facing a lot of rogues. They have saps for this. They have flick. Facing on a hunter, they have like Varanus and Deadly Shot. I don't know how good this is going to be right now. Maybe when the new cards come out, it'll be usable in like a Highlander or something. I'm not too crazy about that card. It seems good. You do get your mana worth, but it's not.
Speaking
anything...
of flick, the new legendary for priest is kind of like flick, right? Like
a little bit.
You get to kill the minion,
no matter what you target.
It's just a solid removal.
I think it's good
option. Yeah, it's probably gonna be played in everything. I think every priest deck.
I imagine people are going to be playing a lot with the Grizzlies because of the new Hunter legendary, where it summons a whole bunch of the things on the board. And this against Hunter, that Natalie Celine, if you smack it on a Grizzly, that's probably going to be a nice answer to that, I imagine. But that's all I think about that, really.
I mean, you will be. It's kind of similar. You're in kind of the same predicament as like with Plague. You
can't do much after.
You use up all your mana basically playing this card, but I mean, at least you do remove something, so it can be good. It's especially good if they only have 1 guy, of course. But I think it's a little situational, but it's still very strong.
That 2-drop is super important too, because it does what the 1/2 that gives you health, but it's on a nice statted body. That's just a nice thing to be able to do, like for early game tempo as well for priest. I think it'll be used a lot.
Bird, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, okay, I'm cool with these. I mean, we got some good stuff. I'll be playing with it. I mean, these changes go live, so these priest cards, do the new priest cards get introduced on the 26th? Does anybody know?
The priest changes
I had
have their own
a
part of the
timeline
marker.
here. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah.
I know the expansions, the 6th or the 7th. I know Demon Hunter comes out on the 2nd. I know the rank changes start off at the beginning of the month, and the 27th stands out to me for a date. But let me confirm.
26th or 27th, yeah. I know everything gets Hall of Famed and stuff, but and I think the priest nerfs and buffs also go live then, but I don't know if we get these new priest cards yet.
I'm pulling it up right now. Of course, it opens in Photoshop and not like Paint or something easy. So we can, while I'm pulling this up, we can rotate into our next little chat is going to be, all right, we pulled it up. So it is Priest Update in Hall of Fame, March 26th.
Oh my God, that's soon. That's
yeah.
Like
So we're talking.
Wait,
that is this upcoming Thursday, which is weird because normally they do stuff on Tuesday. So Thursday is kind of weird. But yeah, what, 4 days? 4 days, we get Hall of Fame and the Priesty update.
Does that include these new cards though?
Yes, I'm assuming that's what because if they Hall of Fame cards and they remove it from the class, they have to add it. They have to add something there, right? They can't just like
I'll be playing with
gut the class.
Highlander, Priest, maybe? Anybody?
All right, so new meta breaking deck, which we'll discuss once we play it and we destroy ladder with it. It's the Highlander Dragon Galakron Priest.
I've tried to make that work in the past, but now maybe.
Now it's time, dude. Now is the time.
Sounds slow, but value oriented.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, you just don't want me to beat your hunter.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't love playing that against that deck.
Yeah,
I'll be real.
I know you wouldn't.
All right, so new ladder, new ranking system. After how many years of us being confined to rank 25 through legend, getting these miserable stars, we've got something new, something fresh. We have bronze to legend now, like every other competitive game. If you're familiar with League of Legends or Overwatch, we've got some new here. So, what do you guys feel about this? This is some.
Terrified?
I'm very excited.
Why are you terrified?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't. As a person who climbs ranked every month, I just. What mostly terrifies me is what spectators will think of it. I know I talked to you guys briefly about this when we were talking about the other day, where like I feel like new players to the game and people that aren't hitting legend every month are going to watch their favorite Hearthstone players get 11 stars, and they're going to think this isn't fair. I get 2. I'm sure I would get legend too if I got 11 from winning a game. You know, I feel like it might make the spectators of the game feel not good, and that does not make me happy. That's all. Yep.
I mean, I can see that happening at the beginning, the very beginning of the season, but I think after a couple days, then people should be in like a decent ranking in there. You should be able to tell who's. I mean, yes, I understand what you're saying about the bonus stars and everything. I'm not really too much of a fan of starting all the way back to bronze 10. Even though we get the bonus stars, it's a little weird, but I mean, overall, I mean, they just look cool. Like, come on, are you not excited to just go through all these ranks? That's pretty awesome. Like, I might even just stay at diamond just because it looks so cool. I don't know.
I read an article on it, how it works this morning, and I felt like it taught me a lot more about it, which is like, so if you get over legend, you get like 10 stars every time you win, right? If you're resetting from legend. But then if you get a win streak, it does the multiplier with the stars you get. So if you get an extra star, you get 20 stars, like, which is going to look ridiculous. So
it's like you might as well just start us in gold or something. Like, why?
Yeah.
What do you think, Warshack? What are you feeling about it?
I mean, I really like it a lot. Any sort of change to the ranking system gets my approval, because like the only way we're gonna see, like, it's probably not gonna be perfect. Hyping it up and saying it's gonna be great. Any change to the game in a way like this, in my opinion, is good, because they're gonna learn from it. They're gonna see how this works, and they're gonna obviously make tweaks to it over time, and it's gonna just hopefully continuously get better. But the first step to like get ladder and rank to matter and be better and feel better when you play is for them to start modifying, changing, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. And this is a sign that like they've overhauled it, right? So that's like kind of the step we need to be taking to get like, you know, for things to just continuously get better. And we kind of saw that, you know, we haven't talked about it a ton, but the new class, you know what I mean? Like they, at the beginning, they said they was never going to introduce a new class. Now that Hearthstone's been around a while, you know, now that we have a new class, it's going to shake things up a lot because it's a new, you know, a new basically point in the circle of like which class does what good against others. It's a new sort of like, you know, tempo decks in the mix. So it's just like all of these changes are just really good because
this is
now
go, sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, this is the year of the Phoenix. So Hearthstone is rising from the ashes and it's being reborn with all these new changes. It's amazing. It's like it's becoming a brand new game. They're bringing it back to life. I mean, it was already like pretty much, it was pretty alive right now, sure, but like this is exactly what the game needed. We're going to be seeing a lot of new players too coming into the game, especially with that. I think they're introducing a mechanic where if you're a new player, you get to select a kind of competitive ready deck.
I want to hear more about that. I want to know more about actually how that works because I don't understand it. Yeah, that's it.
Well,
I don't either, but
if it's anything like the decks they recommend in the deck builder section, it's gonna be terrible.
I mean, that's still pretty decent for a new player. But I mean, there are new players that drop like $100 instantly and have the best stuff. Totally true. But that's card games in a nutshell.
I bet they're gonna give you like, so you remember how Whizbang used to be around? I bet the options that Whizbang has, they're going to let you pick one of those. That's what like the 3 decks that exist awesome, for the archetypes. Actually. I imagine it'll be like that, which is going to be cool, especially if you can pick something like the Whizbang deck that has like the 11 legendaries in it. But then Blizzard, they might not make those. You know, like they might not have like a Whizbang Highlander Mage deck anymore because they don't want to give people a whole stack of legends.
Yeah, but they could just make it so you can't disenchant the cards that grant you for free through opting to pick that deck.
That's true.
That's an interesting.
You got them for free, right? And you're never gonna get them in packs again, right? So you technically don't lose anything by not being able to disenchant them because they were free in the first place. So
I like that, like the way they treated the Doom and the Tomb cards, where they created like another Ragnaros that was like uncraftable. Like, yeah, I like that idea actually. Maybe they do it that way.
That's probably going to be how it's done, yeah.
Another thing I was thinking about for like the deck building side of things, a little off topic here, but like for the decks that they have now, like through the slots, and it has like, you know, the like you click on Shaman, it has like basic Shaman, whatever. Why don't like if that was broken down into like a budget deck for new players, a competitive deck for those wanting to be a little bit more competitive and have a little bit more dust, and the third one being a meme deck, like. I think we need to overhaul the decks that it recommends to newer players in the deck selection screen to where it actually makes sense.
That's cool, but I mean that also would maybe take away from the creativity of like new players or just players in general. Like maybe you see something in there that you're just gonna roll with because you're just like, it seems pretty good. I feel like a big part of Hearthstone is actually making your own decks. I think it's a lot of fun. Like it's more rewarding when you win a game with a deck that you made yourself than something that you stole from either Blizzard or something online. Like especially getting to Legend with your own deck is like a great feeling. So it's good and bad in that way.
I agree, but like how many people do you think actually like go ahead and build their own deck? A lot of people just copy pasta, and the Hearthstone right now is giving you the option for the decks anyway. So
you're not like helping the problem though.
I feel like you got to play a lot before you can make your own deck and get to Legend with it too. Like that's like not like a beginner like even imaginable thing. Like I feel like people go through that phase where they start playing Hearthstone and they craft their own deck, and then come to the reality that everyone has these decks that are beating theirs. So they decide to copy pasta. And then they copy pasta and then start to realize that as they're playing everyone else's copy pasta decks, that if they make some substitutions and changes and make it their own, that it becomes better than the ones that they're facing. I feel like that's the general evolution of a new player experience.
of a player who cares. There's some players that just don't like try to get better and stuff. But yeah, I would say that's the general evolution of a player who like wants to get better at Hearthstone.
And then there's that tier that DMoney just described, which is when you can make your own deck that's viable enough to actually climb the entire way there, which is the ultimate satisfaction feeling probably as a Hearthstone player.
Oh yeah.
Like you created this and it's your baby and you got to legend with them.
Yeah, you also just understand the deck more if you make it yourself, because you know why you put that card in there, what the curve is like, what your goal is, all that jazz. You know?
Yeah. I do agree with what Warshack was saying though about, even though I was saying that I'm terrified of the ranked system, just to go back to what we were talking about under here is that change is good, because I know it hasn't been a pleasant experience for everyone, and it kind of was getting a little stale. So I like that they're changing it in general. I imagine this is a step towards the correct direction as an overall. Yeah. I think it's true.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, so we've been on for roughly about 50 minutes. I know DMoney had his own little segment, and then again, guys, I have one question. If for those of you who are asking questions, chats, and bringing up good points, we'll answer those like in a 5-10 minute segment at the very, very end. But I know DMoney, you had like a part you wanted to add in here. If that's
I have a really fun thing here. It's called Name That Card. All right, so it's really cool. We're gonna have some graphic future, maybe a cool soundbite of me saying that. But so I have this segment here where I want to test our Metabreakers a little bit. I want to get their brains flowing. I know we've been getting it flowing a little bit here, but I have made some specific puzzles for our Metabreakers. So starting off with Warshack.
Great.
So I know you play a lot of offbeat things, you know. So I gave you a card that's maybe a little more offbeat. Okay, so I'm gonna give you. So here's how it's gonna work.
All right, lay out the rules to this so everybody understands.
There's going to be 4 hints in total. Okay. I'm gonna give you one guess at the end of each hint, and whenever you get it right, if you get it right on the first hint, then you get 4 points. If you get it right on the second hint, you get 3 points. 3 hints, then you get 2 points. 4 hints, you get 1 point. And if you don't get it, you get 0 points. And I got 1 for each of you, and then we're gonna do 1 at the same time for both of you. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see who wins.
I like this.
Are you guys ready? Are you ready?
I'm excited.
Is there a participation medal? Because I don't think I'm gonna get any.
I'm gonna try as hard as I can.
With coronavirus going around, we can't give out participation medals. I'm sorry.
Stay healthy, guys.
All right.
So, hint number 1.
All right.
You could get it on the first hint. It's totally possible. I made it so you will be able to get it. Least played card with madness in the name.
Surrender to Madness.
It's Draco, not your turn, user.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Right. It is. What are you just? I was totally thinking of that card. I was gonna say
it. Well,
is it Surrender to Madness?
So
I can't. I've already bad at this game. I've ruined it already.
Holy shit.
All right.
What is Surrender to Madness? I'm going to be honest. I have no idea. Is that card where it shoots little tentacles people all over the place?
It's the bad and vegan.
Were you actually going to guess it?
Oh, hell no.
Yo, come on.
Oh, it's that card. All right, so for those of you who don't know the card, I'm going to pull it up for you guys.
I'm going to read off the other hints that I had here just to...
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry. Everyone in chat, Warshack especially, I apologize for ruining the game.
I only have 2 more, so I mean, I could just give him the other one that I was gonna do for both of you guys, and we'll just do a 1v1 here. That's fine. Yeah, so that was the card right there. The first hint was least played card with madness in the name. Then the second hint was freest 100 dust of your life. So that kind of makes it so you know that it's an epic card. Then I was going to give you the flavor text, which is never give up, always surrender, which if you put Surrender and Madness together, then you could get it, but you have to remember the first hint, so it's a little difficult.
Look
and then
at you.
Yeah, I know, right? And then the fourth one was shares the effect of Keleseth with the +2/+2 there. Yeah.
Isn't Keleseth +1/+1?
Yeah.
No, yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're thinking of big.
Okay, well, good thing we didn't get to that one. But
oh shit.
yeah, well, hey, let's try this again. All right, Draco, you want to go so badly? We're gonna give you a card, okay? You think you know?
Wait, he already had.
I already
card.
stole Warshack. You don't have. You
Yeah,
just skip
but
over
I
me.
require additional cards.
I feel like if I don't go to Draco, he's just gonna do it again, So.
Yeah, I'm like a child.
All right.
All right, okay.
That was fun. Glad we could participate.
This one's for Warshack. All right, this one's for Warshack.
No,
Draco?
it's fine. Give it to Draco. Give it to Draco.
No,
No,
give it to Rob.
I don't want it. I don't even want it anymore.
I think we got to give it to Rob.
No, I don't want it.
I'm just not going to speak.
I'm not going to speak either.
Oh, damn it.
All right.
Okay, I'll do it then.
This one's for okay. All right, fine. All right, Draco, this is your card. Okay, whether you like it or not. Warshack, don't say anything. You know the drill.
Don't worry.
Okay, so since I know that Draco is a hunter player, I tailored this one to Draco, just like I tailored the last one to Warshack because he's like an offbeat, off-meta player, Okay, Draco, here you go. Hint number 1. It gives you what you need in a hurry. You have one guess for this hint.
It gives you what you need in a hurry is my hint.
Yes. It's a hunter card. It's in standard, only standard.
It gives you what you need in a hurry.
Yeah. No looking at chat.
I'm not looking at chat. It gives you what you need in a hurry. I feel like there's some kind of pun that you're using with the words that you've chosen for the hint, or some kind of thing that they're referencing, because like all I'm thinking of from like utility wise is like tracking or something like that. And then I think of Zephyrs because it's a hunter card. Perfect card, but it's a hunter card, which tracking falls under that veil, but I know it's not that because there's not some clever use that combines it with your hint. It gets you what you need in a hurry. I'm thinking of like rapid fire, but
it's a standard card, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a standard.
Guess.
One guess.
And then we go to the next hint.
Okay.
This is for
right.
4 points.
I think I already guessed 2 of them wrong. So rapid fire.
That is not it.
I know, but yeah.
All right. Hint number 2. This is for 3 points. Flavor text. Warning. May cause carousel flashbacks.
What?
That made me more confused.
Yeah. Now I'm bamboozled.
Warning may cause carousel flashbacks.
Why are you typing something? What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I wasn't looking it up, I swear. that would ruin the game.
I mean, you already ruined it once, so
warning carousel may cause flashbacks.
May cause carousel flashbacks.
Warning, it may cause carousel flashbacks.
I just want to let you know I typed in may give carousel flashbacks and an actual carousel came up.
I mean, that'll help you.
And then Germany came up.
Don't look up carousel. What are you doing, Draco? What are you?
I don't know.
Come on, one guess, and then we go to the next hint. There's more hints. I mean, Warshack might not get it. His until the last card or the last hint.
It gets you what you need in a hurry. Warning, it may cause carousel flashbacks. I feel like if it's making a carousel reference, it either needs to be a mech or it needs to resemble something that would be on a carousel. I think these things, but then none of the mechs really seem very carnival oriented in any of the recent expansions. Like I'm thinking more in like the Gadget Sand kind of stuff now that I'm thinking about that.
You've sent Draco to Cloud9, D-Money.
I'm just explaining my thought process.
I'm happy that these are working.
So I think that it can't be a mech or a carnival oriented thing. So it has to be something that resembles a carousel thing. Carousels are generally horses, right?
One guess right now. Yes, it is in standard. Yes. If you don't have a guess,
oh my god, it's the Griffin. It's because it's a rush minion, so it gets you what you want because you tutor the card, and Griffins are on carousels. Like right? I know this is a reach.
I think he's cashing in.
I don't know.
Your guess?
It's my guess. I don't know. I know it's loose.
The full name of the guess.
Diving Griffin. You
got it correct. Ding ding
what?
ding.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
Griffins are on carousels, right? Is that's such a reach, man. That was a hard one.
I mean, you're a hunter player. I had to give it to you. You know.
Why is that? It's flavor text. That's not even a good flavor text, right? Like it does. I mean,
that's why I put that as hint number 2 because it's pretty difficult. But you got it.
What was the third hint?
The third hint was shares the same mana as many other deck as many other cards in hunter decks.
That's pretty big.
It's 3 mana. I mean, you'll know it's 3 mana, so then it will reduce it. It'll give it to you, but
it does look like a carousel.
The fourth one was only hunter minion with 3 more attack than health.
Oh, that would have given it away for me. I would have gotten it there if I didn't get lucky.
Yep. All right, so you get 3 points on that one. Yeah.
Wow. And I get -3 from suggesting when it's not my turn, so I'm at 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic. So I just need 1 point here.
No. You need to get it. You need to get it on the first hint here if you want to win this matchup. Okay, Warshack. This is a pretty tough one. This is why this one was supposed to be for both of you, so good luck.
All right. I'm ready.
Hint number 1, Warshack. Not you, Draco. Not you. Okay.
That was necessary.
The one card that Mage has that can destroy any minion. This is only in standard.
I mean, my first thoughts is Ronaldo, but that's probably too easy.
Can destroy any minion.
Any minion. Mage card. In standard. Right now. And it's a card. Yeah.
That's hard.
I mean, Ronaldo doesn't destroy, though. Ronaldo says poof.
That's true.
That's not destroy. So, I'm going to take that as it's not Ronaldo.
Poof.
Yeah. So, destroying does not include polymorph. Pyroblast's limitation is 10 mana. It doesn't have anything like a Warlock had, where it's a Blast Crystal, where you could kill any minion in response to losing a mana. So, cards that are not damaging spells, but still deal with minions, freezing them, not killing them.
Is
it?
Sorry.
What?
Draco?
You gonna say something? You gonna help me out? Alright, there's Conjurer's Calling, which you can kill something and then it summons 2 more of it, or 2 more of the same mana cost. Alright, repeat the first thing again. What's the hint?
The one card that Mage has that can destroy any minion.
Alright, I'm just Conjurer's Calling.
You know, I actually didn't think about Conjurer's Calling until somebody said it in chat right now. So
that's what I thought it was. I was thinking like, can you target your own minions with it? And that, like,
you know, this is the first installment, guys. We're just doing a test run of this segment. Okay, here, I'll give you another hint. Here. Okay.
Okay.
So this one, if you get it on this one, you'll get the 4 points here. Okay. It's not Conjurer's Calling.
Fantastic.
The flavor text: lick the ice block. I triple double dog dare you.
Lick the ice block? Oh, there's a card that kills frozen homies.
But can you remember the name?
Yeah, it costs 2 mana. The guy's in an ice cube. The left hand has a purple thingy. Shatter.
That is not the card.
Fogs. All right, next hint.
For a common, it surely is uncommon in decks.
Common kills Freezy card. You're hurting me. Hurts.
Yeah, it turns out there's a few cards that actually can destroy any minion. I must have missed that, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're
3.
leading me down this pathway, and like there's like things stabbing me, and it's not helping.
The first two cards are really good. You know.
The 4th hint is it's a carousel.
And then also it gives 2+2. Like, hey,
Here, I'll give you the 4th hint. I'll give you the 4th hint. Thanos inspired card.
What is it? Purple destroys half your deck. What is it? Void contract? Oh, I'm just kidding. Oh shit! Thanos inspired card. I want to dust it because it's terrible.
I mean,
bro, I don't fucking know, dude. Lay it on me.
What does Thanos do? What does he do?
He's a purple manatee. What do
he
you
destroys half your deck.
Yeah.
How does he destroy things?
The gauntlet.
What does he do with that?
He puts it on his hand.
And then?
He snaps.
Okay.
This is you leading me down the gopher hole. I'm gonna need more like food.
He doesn't want to tell you this. He doesn't want to tell you the secret.
Out.
It's snap freeze. That is the.
Oh, I thought it was vaporize.
That's the card.
Snap
vaporize
freeze?
would have been better. Because that was actually
because vaporize destroys everything too.
Yes.
And Thanos vaporizes people.
The first 2 cards were really good, guys. Okay. The Diving Griffin and Surrender to Madness. We had a good run. And then,
Oh, it's this card. My bad.
Yeah, Thanos.
I thought it was vaporize. Once
chat said it, yeah.
Yeah, once chat said it, I was like, it's gotta be vaporized.
I'll do better for next week, guys. I hope you like that. What did you guys think?
I think you did pretty good.
Warshack?
I think I was hornswoggled.
Hornswoggled.
I could spice it up for next week, but this was just the first go at it.
Nah, it's a good idea. I like it.
I like it. It was fun.
All right, cool.
I got 0 points. All right. So
questions?
Questions. Yeah.
I got a couple. I got 3 of them from people in chat. 2 from Hentai Prince Senpai Omega.
Ooh, one of mine is from him too.
I see the first one I have, just because to fill up the space, is Dieter007 that asked if does anyone know if the Genbaku cards interact with the Demon Hunter, especially Gen. I saw Blizzard respond to this question on Twitter, and you get there's an upgraded hero power, which its name exists somewhere on Reddit, and it's +2 attack, and the interacting with Gen does nothing. And they said it was meme worthy. That was their words. So, yep. There's one.
I also heard about that. Yes. Okay. I don't really have any questions here. I'm sorry. I've been looking at chat. There hasn't been too many questions, so I think you guys might have snatched up the only ones. But
yeah, we had Hentai Prince Senpai Omega. The question was regarding the ranking system, and his question was, does this bring anything for the competitive aspect of Hearthstone? Ladder used to mean something, but not anymore.
I read that. I have that one too.
I think ladder actually means more now, right? Because you do. Well, you do get like first time rewards now as well for reaching certain ranks for all the ranks here, and you do get, I mean, there's different end of season rewards, which should be better than what it was before. So you do get rewarded more for playing. Is that answering the question? What do you?
I mean, with the competitive aspect of Hearthstone, it makes it easier for people to hit Legend. Legend's where they get the points, right? So the faster they can get to hit Legend and start trying to get to top 100 Legend to get the points to be able to, play in the qualifiers and, try to get to the, what is after qualifiers? Do Money?
The Masters tournament?
Yeah. Masters.
That's right after qualifiers. You just qualify and then you go to the Masters tour?
You qualify for the Masters tournament, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so like getting to Legend faster, I think this helps with that because of the amount of stars you get for being Legend in the previous season. Mm-hmm. And I think ladder actually means a little bit more as well because the rewards, which we didn't really talk about at all, but the rewards are pretty significant.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That we get. I might even have an image of this. I know when I joined DMoney's stream and asked him about it at first, he didn't realize that it's cumulative.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a big deal because there's a lot of stuff you get from hitting Legend.
I was like, 1 pack for getting Legend? That does not seem right. But I wouldn't doubt it from Blizzard, so.
Yeah,
you do get
everything. Like, let's see, new ranked rewards. Yeah, I saw someone on. I think there's one on our. Okay, yeah, here it is.
Display capture. Let me scroll down. I think I can pull up the rewards here.
Oh yeah, so
they had like a.
That's crazy. I'm looking at it right now. It's right here in the.
Which section is it?
I'll just link it to you, Warshack, right here. Oh, I also put the new card that came out in there as well. You guys want to take a look at that? Yeah, it looks like for Legend you get an expansion pack, a classic legendary card, a classic pack, a random classic epic, another classic pack, a random. I can't even. Yeah, a ton of stuff. I'm not gonna read it all. But
yeah, I mean the legendary is pretty big on its own, and then you get a ton of packs with it too, and you get some other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you get like a whole pile of stuff.
Yeah. So this, to me, makes ladder more significant, and I'm sure the more casual players and non-casual can't actually see what I'm putting up. There we go. Here are the rewards for the more casual and people who don't really spend a lot. Being able to like hit rank 5 or diamond or whatnot, being able to get anywhere between like 3 to 5 free packs extra a month and a bunch of rare cards. Yeah, is pretty significant.
Yeah, definitely more incentive just overall, which is what the game needs. So,
if you hit Legend every month, that's 12 legendaries in a year that you get from doing that, and that's crazy.
Well, those are the first time rewards is the legendary, so you don't actually get that every time. That's just your first time hitting Legend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's the difference between I don't know. There's a picture that basically brought out the. I don't think it's actually on here, but it's the first time rewards is on like the bottom, and then the monthly end of the month rewards. So, so if you've never been to Legend before with the new ranking system, the first time you get there, it gives you right here. So first time reward for reaching Legends, a run random classic legendary card, and then after that, the first time rewards go away.
That's interesting, still though. I mean, that's still nice.
I'll take
the ones that you can repeat every month. These guys.
Yeah. The
purple column.
Another question from Hentai Prince Senpai Omega was: are the new priest cards from the expansion, or are they here to stay? And they're here to stay. Yeah. So
are those becoming basic cards and classic cards?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
I did not know that. That was a good question. Thank you.
Which means the Zephyr's pool.
Yeah, so whenever they Hall of Fame cards and they move stuff out of the basic set, they have to replace it with something. They can't just gut Priest of its basic cards, right?
Yeah.
So it adds those to the pool of basic cards that you can get. So Zephyrus will now give the 4 mana deal 5 to everything when instead of like maybe Brawl that it would more than likely give now.
It's probably gonna be crazy to get that clear for things that have more than 5 attack. Because if Zephyrs gives that gives like every Highlander deck like an even cheaper, reliable out than using Twisting Nether. Because they can use a 4-mana clear to wipe the board.
I didn't even think about that.
It's crazy. That makes Highlander decks way more powerful. As well as the Demon Hunter classic AoE 4-mana to everything. That becomes a lot more acquirable too. So Highlander deck's got a huge buff from these classic changes.
Yep.
Agreed. Yep.
Interesting. Very interesting.
All right. Well, that's the only question I had.
Well, that's all I got too.
I'm good.
All right. I'll wrap us up. So this was our first episode of the new Metabreakers podcast. Again, this is kind of I don't want to say how it's exactly going to be done each time, but this was our getting our bearings on, first time doing this. Obviously, over time, we'll get better at reading chat, picking up comments, implementing more stuff into the stream, so like layovers and whatnot. But overall, I think we did really well. I think we all had a good time. I think for the first attempt, we had like no big issue. Everybody's mics worked. You know what I mean? Like there was, I think overall we did really well. I would like to,
Good job, guys. I feel good about this. I can't wait to do more of these. The idea would be to do these every Sunday, right?
Yeah. Once a week or once every 2 weeks, something like that, depending on like the information.
Yeah.
We may have to play around with the time that we get going and stuff, but we're definitely going to be doing this every week. That's the goal right now. And I mean, this is only the beginning, guys. We're just going to keep getting better and better. I know you probably thought this was amazing, but it's going to be more amazing. Okay, guys. I can assure you.
Yeah.
There's gonna be new graphics coming. There's gonna be new sound bites coming. It's gonna be quite the show.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be cooler and stuff. But thanks for everyone who joined in for the first one and stuff. Like, it's super cool. Feel great. So
yeah. Thanks guys for keeping us busy in chat, being cool dudes, and watching. I know D-Money was gonna hop on stream after this, so gonna throw him a host while I go over to Tony's house and clean up my new room there, because as you guys know, I'm moving very soon. So D-Money, if you want to start your stream up, say your goodbyes to everybody, and we'll migrate over to watch some high caliber legend gameplay, boys. Much better than me, because I fucking suck. So D-Money is going to provide the entertainment from the rest of the day.
All right, thank you very much, Warshack. Thank you. Thank you guys again for watching. I'm gonna go start my stream right now. I stream every single day, guys. DmoneyGames. That's about it. I'm probably going to be playing Reno Mage today. No shocker, but hey, when these new cards come around, when these new changes come on the 26th, then I will be trying out Priest. I'll try to make it work, guys. But yeah, I'm gonna go head over there and start my thing. It was a good time. Take care, everyone. See you soon.
Peace out, homie.
See ya.